Namaste, beautiful. Welcome to the Ganga. My cleanse led me back to Rishikesh, which makes a lot of sense, but it's also not at all what I expected to happen. So, life is fun that way, right? So, throughout the cleanse, which I'm still kind of tapering off of right now, it's been about a month and a half, I thought a lot about sadhana. Sadhana refers to our daily spiritual practice. And so, for many of us in the Western world, we think of our yoga practice as exclusively, or at least in large part, our asana practice. And so, of course, for me, it was in Rishikesh where I really started moving away from that. And I started to really place more importance on other limbs of yoga. I did a fair amount of meditating earlier in my life, but I didn't know about pranayama. And while I was practicing yamas and niyamas, I didn't know that that's what I was doing. So during the cleanse, I felt extremely exhausted, just absolutely drained of all of my physical and emotional, mental energy most of the time. And, I did start to get more clear headed. And so I thought many times about making classes or even about practices that I wanted to do, asana practices that I wanted to do. And I did them sometimes, but a lot of times I ended up making it gentler. And so currently, my physical body is less strong than it's been in quite a long time. The flexibility is still there. I don't know if that's ever going anywhere, but that's easier to work on, of course, when I'm lower energy. And every day it was difficult to make the decision to be more committed to the cleanse, to cleaning, to purifying, to clearing, in order to, move closer to samadhi rather than to continue to strengthen my physical body so that I could do various asanas for the purpose of ego. And so I decided, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago or something like that. I don't know, I have no sense of time. That I wanted to come here. And so at first I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll go back and I will do another teacher training in a few months. And then I was like, you know what? Why? Why wait a few months? I want to go now. And so I didn't yet say another exciting thing, which is that I'm going for another teacher training here in Rishikesh that starts in about a week and a half. And it's Kundalini, a 300-hour Kundalini teacher training. And I've toyed around with the idea of learning Kundalini so that I could teach Kundalini for several years, even before I ever did my first training. And I've always thought I was going to do Ashtanga first because I do quite love Ashtanga, and personally I practice a lot of Ashtanga. But of course, because of the cleanse, I was sometimes still practicing Ashtanga, but it's so hard on the body that I I mentioned this in the last video where I talked about the cleanse, that I started doing this video that it's not really Kundalini, but it's Kundalini based. And I started thinking, that's what I want to do, is I want to learn more of that so I can teach more of that. And something very different, than what I normally practice and than I normally teach. And I'm super excited about it. So, yeah, I back to Sadhana, right? So, we can do whatever we want, right? I don't think it's wrong or anything negative to be focused on the physical practice, even for an entire lifetime. You know, if someone wants to do the physical practice of yoga exclusively that until they're no longer in their body, then I think that's totally fine. So I do want to clarify that everyone is on their own path, whatever that path may be, and that is amazing. That is one of the most amazing things about being human, is that we're all on our own paths. We all can do whatever we want. And I don't think that's really my path anymore. And I've been kind of struggling with that for years now, like many years. And I guess maybe even when I hurt my ankle, I almost got deeper into the physical practice because I wanted to heal the ankle, and that was a physical thing. And so, yeah, I mean, of course, I was doing the other parts as well, but being on this cleanse and literally being dedicated to cleansing, I mean, I went back to even doing the neti pot every few days, and I did a dotty cleanse, and I did an enema, and I like did all of the things, all of the shakriyas, shakarmas. I did them because cleansing was became more important than my strength, became more important than anything. And I was doing this in Florida, right? And every single day I went for a walk that went through the downtown, over around the beach, and I was seeing people every day, living their lives at drinking and eating, and I felt somewhat of a desire to be a part of it, but not enough to break the cleanse, not enough to do that. And then I got to Rishikesh, back to Rishikesh, and I felt like it was time to start introducing other foods back into my diet and start weaning off of the supplements that I was taking. And guess what? My energy is starting to come back. And so I feel like that, you know, I was being so strict about this for a full month, and it was time to relax and put my trust into this culture where they don't even serve alcohol here. So that's not even a thing that people are doing. And so I'm not eating chapati with every single meal, but I had it yesterday for the first time in years. And I feel good. And I feel closer to myself. I feel closer to the collective. And it's because of cleansing and practicing pranayama and meditation more than it is because of asana for probably the first time in my life. So, anyway, just all of that to say that if you do want to take care of something else that is going to affect your ability to perform any physical practice, whether it be yoga or something else, maybe allow yourself to do it. Maybe, or don't, you know? But really think about your priorities. Everybody is entitled to their own priorities. And I think what's most important is that we have an understanding of what our priorities are. So, yeah, I think that's all I have to say for now. You can't see it, but there are several people who have their eyes just straight on me right now. So even right now, it's been a practice of yoga and staying focused on you and what I have to say. Anyway, I will talk to you soon. Thank you for watching and for listening. And I'm so happy to connect to you again. Oh, and I will be in the training from March 2nd until from March 1st until March 29th. I will be there. So I'm going to do my best to film some things in these next week and a half to schedule. But yeah, know that that's what I will be doing. And I'm doing it for myself, and I'm doing it for you, and I'm doing it for the world. Okay. Anyway, so much love. Namaste.